do this segment every week, talking about our favorite plays on Underdog. Really fun site. Obviously, we love talking about, love playing on there. But Ryan, why don't you give me a couple of your Underdog, your favorite Underdog plays this weekend?
Okay, sure. I will start with a little game stack, quarterback, receiver pairing, and then someone you can run it back with. Same spot I targeted last week. This Colts secondary, still missing both their starters. And it's going to be a good game script here for the Steelers. Rodgers has been playing pretty well. I'm going to take higher on Rodgers, 236.5 passing yards. The Colts, they've allowed over 300 in 4 of the last 6 to Jacoby Brissett, Joe Flacco. I think Rodgers in a game script where they're going to need to score points, probably going to be playing catch up against the Colts. I think he gets there. And then you compare him with DK Metcalf, either higher than 4.5 catches or higher than 62.5 yards. I mentioned the outside corners out for the Colts. I think it's a really good spot for DK. And then I would run that back with Tyler Warren. He's been a popular pick for us on this show, treated us well. 54.5 yards is his number. He's only failed to go over that in blowouts against the Raiders and the Titans, 2 of the worst teams in the league. I think this is going to be more competitive. Warren's just looked so good already. Looks like one of the best tight ends in the league. So yeah, give me Rodgers, Metcalf, or whoever your favorite Steelers pass catcher is. I kind of like Calvin Austin as well. Came back and played 80% of snaps last week, got 7 targets. You could look at his numbers. Run that back with Warren. What about you, Scott? What do you like this week?
I like that one. I think that Colts Steelers is going to a game I'm going to find myself going to on Underdog as well. But I'm going to go two picks from the same game as well. I'm going to take 2 Rams to start out with here. First, it's going to be Kyren Williams, higher than 0.5 total touchdowns. I just think that the way this game script works out, I know we talked about the fact that Williams would come off the field late in the game, maybe, but you still got to play the first 3 quarters. Maybe Tyler Shuck can get a couple of plays in there, but I just think Kyren's going to kind of automatic to score. If they get inside the 5, it's going to be Kyren Williams, and I just think the Rams are going to roll in this game. The offense is rolling. Stafford had the 5 touchdown passes last week. I like that for the fact that maybe they get Kyren a couple this week. They had a couple plays in the 1 yard line when they threw it to Davante Adams. Like Kyren to get it, and kind of piggybacking on that. We don't talk about kickers very much on this show, but Joshua Karty, the kicker for the Rams, higher than 2.5 extra points. It's probably my favorite play Underdog all week, believe it or not. I just don't see any way possible the Rams don't score multiple, sort of 3 or 4 or 5 touchdowns in this game. And it's going to be a game where they're ahead. They're not going to go for 2. So you kind of take that out of the window. You're always worried about that aspect of it. They go for 2 and they mess that up. But Karty higher than 2.5 extra points, I think is a really good way to kind of get your Underdog slate started. I just think that Rams are scoring 4 or 5 touchdowns this week. And I feel pretty good about that.
I mean, wow, I have no idea how that doesn't hit. Yeah, that's the best. That's the best one I've heard.
Yeah, now he'll miss one, and then they'll go for 2 on the next one. But yeah, I still think 2 have extra points. Even if he misses one, we'll be good there. Why don't you give me a couple of other plays that you like on Underdog this week?
Yeah, sorry, that was the ultimate jinx there on Karty, but
ultimate jinx. It'll be fun to watch that now. We're watching kickers. I love it.
Yeah, sure. I'll start with another tight end. Brock Bowers, fresh off a bye, healthier than he's been all season.
On my list too. Good call. I like it.
Sorry about that.
Good. You're good.
Yeah, fresh off a bye against the Jags. His number would be higher had he been healthier this season and had Geno Smith not been struggling so much. We saw him go for over 100 in week 1. I think he goes over 51.5 here. And then a couple that might surprise you. I am going to take the higher on CJ Stroud, 224.5 passing yards against a tough defense. I think Stroud, best game of the season last week. They can't run the ball. Patrick Surtain out on the other side for the Broncos. And I just think the numbers are lower because the Broncos have an elite defense. I like Stroud higher than 224.5 yards, and even Nico Collins' numbers down to 62. And without Surtain there, it only takes a couple catches with Nico Collins. So I think that's interesting too.
I like that. I did not not think we are going to have a Houston Denver hire on this thing. I like that a lot. So I'm going to give you two more wide receivers to put on your slate on Underdog this week before we get out of here. The first is going to be someone that we've mentioned before already, Jameson Williams, higher than 44.5 receiving yards. We mentioned that the offensive coordinator came out this week and said it's my fault that Jameson Williams hasn't done very much. There is no way they don't drop 2 or 3 deep shots to Jameson Williams this week. All he's got to do is hit one of them, 44.5 receiving yards. But I think he's going to get the ball in space a few times. I think we're looking at like 4 or 5 catches this week. If you give me 4 or 5 Jameson Williams catches, he's going to go over 44.5 receiving yards pretty easily. So I like the higher play there on Jameson Williams. My other one will be also kind of a cheaper wide receiver, but Wan'Dale Robinson over higher than 49.5 receiving yards. I like this play a lot. 49ers struggle against slot receivers. That's the spot that, they just kind of had issues with kind of running around chasing those guys this year. And Wan'Dale plays a lot in the slot. He had 48 yards last week. He was kind of quiet, but still had 48 yards. So right around this number. He is much less targeted with Darius Slayton playing, but I do think that, we talked about the Niners offense was so bad last week. I think they'll figure some stuff out. Kyle Shanahan will figure some stuff out. Obviously a much better matchup against the Giants defense and the Texans defense. Niners are going to score some. And I think the Giants are going to have to push the ball a little bit without Cam Scatterbo there. Maybe Wan'Dale's even more of a security blanket than he is in the passing game. So I like higher on the yards on Wan'Dale Robinson this week for the Giants against the 49ers.
I love Wan'Dale, and I forgot about one of my favorite ones. Sorry, I just wanted to throw it in there.
Please do.
Kimani Vidal, higher than 77.5 rushing yards against the Titans. I just think this number would be higher if he was a household name or had like a bigger pedigree. He's been playing great. He went over, he had 117 yards last week, 124 a couple weeks before. And, it's a great spot. It's going to be a great script against the Titans. The Titans are also without their best defensive player, defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons. It's a great spot for the running game. And I think they're going to, Hassan Haskins also looks like he's going to be out. Not that matters too much, but I just think they're going to use Vidal as much as they can with Hampton, set to come back pretty soon.
Yeah, the Jeffrey Simmons piece, that's really important. He's one of the better interior linemen in the league. That's a good call there. I like that as well. So we are proud to partner with Underdog for this NFL season. Underdog also offers great DFS pick'em games. Pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or lower stat total in this week's games for a chance to win big. You can win up to 1,000 times your money in a single night by picking between 2 and 8 players to build a pick'em entry. Sign up with RWNFL to claim your first-time deposit up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with my promo code RWNFL to claim your first-time deposit offer. Must be 18 plus, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. Are you concerned with your next play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, go 1-800-NEXT-STEP. It's 1-800-639-8783. Or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369.